Hello and welcome back to Night Call. So we're on night 4 now. The night is still young. We've got plenty of people we can ferry about the place. And we're slowly putting the pieces together. I don't have, I wouldn't say it's a definitive answer yet. My money at the moment, my $5 are on the old cop dude. Just because I feel like the stuff about the gun is kind of more hard evidence. Obviously, if it turns out the other two victims are part of the Argentinian junta, then maybe the lady has a bit more going for her. But at the moment, my eyes are square on old cop dude. He also seems a bit kind of bitter and that, so maybe he's like killing these people that have done atrocities in the past or something. Thinks he's some sort of fucking Batman. Hence the judge, I suppose. But we'll see. Like I say, night's still young. There's no one with a big glowing border on our roster today, so we've just got to find someone we fancy ferrying around to get some cash from. I'm thinking maybe this person, just because they look kind of strange. Let's go and see what their story is. Also want to see, this huge dog on the sidewalk. It looks like a bear. I must speak with you, I absolutely have to speak with you. Roxana Krylova. Russian, perhaps, certainly Eastern European. Door slams, followed by a freezing cold burst of air. You stare at your passenger for a moment in the rearview mirror. She's wearing a rather unusual get-up. Also, apologies if I sound a little nasally. I'm doing one episode this session just to tie things off, and I'm getting over COVID at the moment, so my entire face is like a solid, chiseled block of mucus at the moment. So bear with me. You smile. Good evening. She nods before giving the taxi a detailed once-over with a blank look on her face. Everything okay? She doesn't seem to hear you and continues scanning every part of the cab. Seems to be a common thing where they get in and I'm like, is everything alright? And they ignore me. Not everyone wants to chat to a taxi driver, I guess. After a very long minute, she crosses and uncrosses her fingers. You sigh. You usually like weird passengers like her, the strange ones, but this one, there's something about her you don't like. She clears her throat loudly. I came too early. He'll be here soon. She has a very strong Eastern European accent, like we guessed. Russian, maybe. What are you talking about? Him. She slowly smiles, revealing a line of dirty teeth stained with cigarette smoke and worn down from booze. Ludwig. Okay. Beethoven? The name may not ring a bell now, but soon. She stops. Soon what? Oh, Ludwig was the little ghost, wasn't it? It was the Casper. Soon what? He'd be sitting right here, staring at you with his dead little eyes. I think maybe this was supposed to come before the ghost one. Laughter bubbles up abruptly from the back of her throat. I'm a ghost hunter, sir. I've dropped the Eastern European accent. Like I say, I try not to do real life accents. I prefer to just use silly voices. Because then it goes into the awful territory. She enunciates each word as it rolls off her tongue. Some creatures from the netherworld live among us, encrusting themselves onto our lives like barnacles. She pauses. Her tongue sounds so rough. Like oysters. The word is almost unintelligible with her accent. Ghosts are parasites, dead weight bearing down on our shoulders and back. Let her keep talking. I feel like engaging with a crazy woman, even though she's technically not crazy, is a bad idea. I'm not going to beat around the bush, sir. You need to keep two essential things in mind. Ludwig is evil incarnate. He is a tour guide from the underworld trying to sell you your own death. His cold fingers gripping on the edge of your window. I can feel it. I know it. He'll soon be here, holding on just like this. Her words make less and less sense, like she's going into a trance. You have two essential things to keep in mind, and that was the first. The second is even more important. Do not make him angry. Listen to him. Help him. Make friends with him. I kind of did that, I guess. I didn't shit on him. And if I talk to this ghost, what will happen? He will take you with him to the underworld for all eternity. Well, he didn't. Her fingers adjust her collar. She starts to get out. It's easy to think that Ludwig is a child. He's no child. He's a creature that has lived for centuries. A demon. Dangerous. Violent. She lays a hand on the door handle. Don't forget, make friends, no matter what. Hey, you haven't paid. She pauses, hardly able to contain her laughter. Your folks are unbelievable. What folks? French people? I'm saving your life, and you want me to pay? Yeah, I've already dealt with him. Her laughter fills the cab. Hey. She gets out of the cab and walks away. Her steps resonate on the cobblestones. She turns down a narrow street and footsteps come to a halt. You sit in silence for a while, till a damp feeling creeps up your back. Was she pissed down me or something? Sweat. Fear. Running. In your veins. You open the window and let the icy cold Parisian air fill your cab. It's refreshing. Perks you up. Do ghosts really exist? You've seen one. Isn't all of that just... No. You turn the key in the ignition and get back to your shift. Great, what a waste of time and money. Oh, hey, it's Hervé again. It's Hervé. Oh, and there's the cop down there. Probably try and question him a bit more, seeing as he's my prime suspect. Might end up with me getting shot, I suppose. That's got to be more useful than carting around a lady warning him about a ghost I've already seen. You recognise the next passenger is the cop, the detective, your suspect. He has a tired look about him, not just because it's early, his voice drags. The usual place. I can't remember his voice. St. Louis Hospital then. You start driving. You notice right away that your passenger is cold, very cold in fact. He is shivering and chattering his teeth. You start driving, but keep an eye on him. Turn up the heat. He flashes a crooked smile. That's really not necessary. Thanks though. I'm not cold. It's my medication. Pretty bizarre side effects. One minute I'm hot, the next I'm cold. Not much fun really, but it's for my own good. His face is otherwise. He's not quite convinced. Actually, maybe it is the cold. It hasn't been this cold in ages. Since 82, I think. 83, maybe. And almost in a whisper, he adds, the year of the tiger. Chinese year of the tiger? He's smiling now, but continues shivering ever so slightly. No. The year we hunted a tiger down in Paris. Nothing to do with the Chinese. It's a really nice story, actually. Well, maybe nice isn't the right word. You'll see. And it'll get my mind off things. He has a nervous laugh and is clearly uncomfortable. Probably not used to appearing fragile. It was late December. The weather was crap. Never been so cold in my life. The water in the fountains and gutters was frozen. At the office, most of my colleagues were sick. Stuck in bed. I was sick too, but I was new, so I sucked it up. I was blowing my nose every 5 minutes. My nose was red. My breath reeked of cough drops. We all looked like we were about to keel over. The switchboard phone rang and no one answered. I sighed, got up, picked up the phone. A woman screamed in my ear. A tiger! She had seen a tiger, orange and black, big as a motorcycle in the Rue de Bussy. I burst out laughing, told her it was a good prank, and hung up. Less than a minute later, the phone rang again. The second line, too. Then the one in the chief's office. He points to different areas of the car, as if he can still hear the phones ringing. A tiger. A really big one. Rue de Bussy, Rue de Seine, Rue de Buarts. I don't know how to pronounce any of these. The passenger rubs his chin and seems deep in thought. We were starting to think something fishy was going on. So we got to move on. We grabbed our coats and scarves and our tiger repellent. One of the guys from the squad called his brother-in-law, who works at the zoo in Vincennes. He sighs. Outside it was snowing buckets. Huge flakes the size of your gear shift there. Damn, we were better off on foot. When we got to Saint Michel, we walked down the Quai de Grand Augustins, knocking on doors. I don't speak French, I don't know if that's coming across. The people we talked to wanted us to take their word for it. They swore they'd seen a tiger, and they were dead serious. We walked the streets. The snow was slowing. The snow was slowing, but only barely. He looks at you. I'm sure you're familiar with that moment, in the middle of the night when Paris is completely quiet. You nod. It's incredible, like the city just stops for a moment. Yeah, well it was just like that. Utter and total calm. Absolute silence. The team broke into pairs. We checked alleys and passageways. Back then, the neighbourhood was like Swiss cheese, with nooks and crannies all over, garages built without permits. It wasn't the highbrow neighbourhood it is today. He heaves a sigh. He seems sad. We went into the narrow street because my partner thought he saw paw prints. And he was right. There was snow all over the dumpster, on the roof of the garage, the building's balconies. The tiger had climbed up there, so we followed. We pulled out our weapons and started after the prints. Dumpster, garage roof, balconies. My partner was huffing and puffing. Huge puffs of steam were escaping from his mouth. Your passenger snickers. He stopped and told me that we must look like our ancestors, like prehistoric men wielding flint spears. We couldn't help laughing. We knew how stupid we must look. We got up to the roof. The tiger was there. Damn, what a shock. It was a magnificent beast, almost 2 meters in size, maybe more. Took our breath away. The tiger looked at us. There was fear in his eyes. He was shaking. We realized we'd screwed up. We never should have come. If it attacked, we had to kill it. But neither of us wanted to kill it after seeing it. He stared at us. Paris was utterly calm. Snow as far as the eye could see. A white skyline. And then... Passenger pauses. He closes his eyes slowly. Something in his voice cracks. He jumps off the roof. It was remarkable. Moment of silence. He is still shivering. He was trying to escape? No. He didn't aim for another building, or for me or my partner. He jumped into the void. He knew he'd been cornered. Passenger needs a few seconds before going back to his story. You get the impression he's still shaking as much as when he got in. Now, where was I? Oh yeah. We leaned as far as we could off the roof to look below. Looked like he was asleep, lying comfortably on the snow. Giant orange and black spot on a feather bed. He watches the street go by. The hospital is close now. I think remain silent, just let him compose himself, you know. Park in front of the hospital. Passenger suddenly speaks up. His voice sounds more confident than before. I think I do just what the tiger did. His death seems so calm and gentle. It can't hurt too much to fall onto a huge bed of feathers. He glances quickly at his shaking hand. In the rearview mirror, the police inspector seems oddly small, as if he had shrunk during the ride. Seriously, it can't hurt too much. He hands you his money and gets out of the cab. You watch him walking away without saying a word. The sliding doors at the entrance to the hospital take far too long to open. You drive away. Well, I didn't get anything more out of that. but it didn't seem like there was much of an area to prompt, you know. And that's the future people again. I think I'm going to nip into a petrol station and get a newspaper. So I've got a bit of cash. See if I can get some news that might give me another clue. Not a soul in sight. Urine. Fill her up. So how only €42. Fill up the whole tank. Student doing his homework lazily raises his head. Welcome to La Belle Pompeii. A newspaper. And talk with the clerk. I was wondering. You immediately bring up the serial killer. They're excited. New clue, okay. Off we go. Let's see if there's anyone crucial. Nope. So we can have a look at our newspaper real quick. Photo of the French soccer team, who just won a match against a team from Venice. You have no idea where Vanuatu is. Keep reading. Quite involved article about the infamous police leaks affair. Who, why and how all that confidential data was released. Justice Department is now looking at corrupt and violent cops who are known to be out of line. Concerned associations applaud how transparent they're being. The more you read, the more you get the impression the journalist does not agree with their methods. Let's keep reading. Short article mentioning a strike led by a handful of employees of Confiseries du Marais, a luxury candy brand. They demand better wages, and the owners are threatening to relocate their factories abroad. There's a shock. You shut the paper. It'll end up in the trash tonight. If you remember it's there, otherwise it'll spend the rest of the day in your glove department. Okay. Anyone important that we should be ferrying? No. Let's ferry this chap then, he's closest. Hey, that's a good bit of money as well. He's going to St. Owen. Put up to the sidewalk and make an out, surrounded by 5 or 6 cops. All too familiar scene. Another policeman. Low ominous tones of an officer's voice makes it to your ear. Circle of cops breaks up. See your passenger. He heads over and gets in. He slams the door and lets rip. Motherfucking cops. He gives you his address and you start the car. Passenger stares out the window at the passing road as if to calm himself. You take a quick look in the rearview mirror. Everything alright? We're going to charm him. Yeah, sure. They're afraid to lay a finger on us nowadays. Don't want to get blown up. An ironic half smile appears on his face, then immediately disappears. He knows a bad joke when he hears one. What a fucking pain in the ass. Can't go out without getting screwed by each and every one of these son of a bitches. If you're not wearing a goddamn beret, if you happen to be wearing sweatpants, then yeah, right, you're a fucking hood. He smirks wryly, then raises his voice an octave. Your papers, please. He sighs, his voice back to normal. Yeah, sure, shove your aunt's cock up your friggin' ass, buddy. Always the same old thing, isn't it? Passenger looks at you and lets out a bitter laugh. You can say that again. Even the Arabs treat us like shit when they're wearing a uniform. A slow smile spreads over his face. You know what's worse? He pulls a paperback out of his jacket pocket. Count of Monte Cristo by Alexandre Dumas. They wouldn't believe it was my book. He returns it to his pocket right away. For a second you wonder if you imagined it. First thing they asked me was where I'd stolen it. You know, like there was no way I could own a book. Then the bastards took the book and flipped through it, every single page. To make sure I wasn't hiding anything like hash or some other shit. He flinches. Something in his features breaks. A crack has appeared. He's trying not to show it, but you see what's going on. Can't help it. The inner struggle. The humiliation. The sense of shame. It's just a book. Do you like it? He looks up. Yeah, it's kind of like a revenge story. Like all the Hollywood movies we download so we don't have to pay for a ticket. Except they take place 200 years ago. And yeah, it's good. It really sucks what happens to the hero guy. He spends the whole book planning his revenge, big time. The guy is pretty messed up. He catches your eye in the rearview mirror. You realise he's not all worked up anymore. It's my girlfriend who gave it to me. What else did she recommend? Well, believe me man, it was pretty rough at first. First she got me to read this book. Pride and something or other, some English book. Pride and Prejudice? Yeah, that's it. You read it too? Saw the movie a long time ago. They made a movie? Shit, I should have watched it. Didn't get through the whole thing, but she didn't mind. After she got me to read something by Balzac, and after the Count of Monte Cristo, she wants me to read this book. He rolls his eyes. By some Belgian woman, I think. You shrug. Yeah, my girlfriend says wrote a book about this Roman emperor and his boyfriend, and it's really amazing. He laughs to himself. I better not get caught by the cops with that one in my pocket. Or by my friends, for that matter. He looks up, his eyes shining. She forced me a little, and then I realised that Monte Cristo is one of us. I mean, his story, it's not like what goes on today. But I introduced her to new stuff too. There are these texts, rap lyrics, that she really likes. You should see her putting on a show and all, but the truth is she actually likes it. It's the same thing with reading, right? I mean, it had to be properly explained to me. I had to want to try it. And that was it, man. I was on my way. He looks down. Something seems to be bothering him. The only thing is, he hesitates. My girlfriend, she's a cop. Pretty weird, huh? She's 37. She gets me to read books for rich people. She works for the local police. He gestures vaguely towards some place behind him. I was just at her place now. Man, she's one hell of a woman. She drives me crazy, she's so... He doesn't finish the sentence. You pull up at the address given by your fare. He lets out a sigh. You know, man, I don't know why the hell I just told you all that. No worries. Must be a real bummer. All these guys telling you their life stories. Passenger pays you money for the ride. I have to go. I punch in early tomorrow. He pauses, eyeing the time on the radio's LCD display. Or later on, I should say. A moment later, he vanishes into the night. Hey, a bit of profit, not bad. Yeah, not getting many clues, but we've kind of got the basic ones, I think. Oh, it's Santa. So, yeah. I thought that person had horns for a second, and I think he's got a weird hat on. Like bunny ears, the hell? It's going on like a bloody monkey. Anyway, we'll leave it there for the moment. Maybe we can pick up Hervé next time. He's got his ear to the ground. Maybe he can give us some stuff. We'll see how things get on. So, thank you very much for watching. If you like my content, please do check out my other videos. And if you do, I shall see you there. Goodbye.